To Russia now, where a group of female flight attendants have decided to sue the national carrier Aeroflot over alleged discrimination. Experienced flight attendants claim they are being banned from flying international routes because the airline wants to use younger and thinner staff as part of a rebranding exercise. Staff over the age of 40 will now be restricted to shorter domestic flights, which means a lower salary and fewer bonuses. The women have already filed complaints to the prosecutor's office and Russian President Vladimir Putin himself. So who's right and who's wrong? To try and answer that is aviation analyst Fabrizio Poli, who's joining us live from Manchester in the UK. Fabrizio, thank you very much for being with us. So some say that customer-facing companies like airlines are entitled to put good-looking people out front. Others say that's pure and simple discrimination. Where do you stand on all this?
Well, thank you, Asa. Well, first of all, it's all a matter of branding. So what are you aiming for? I mean, what type of image do you want to portray? But we have to bear in mind that the number one reason cabin crew are on aircraft is for safety reasons. They're there to evacuate the aircraft if an emergency happens. They're there to help anybody with a medical emergency. That's the prime reason why they're there. So now when they're saying that these cabin crew over 40 are overweight and that, I tend to agree because you have to be fit in order to perform mentally. So you have to really watch your health. So I wouldn't put a restriction on age. I would say more fitness and are they with it? But it's all a matter of branding. I mean, there's a company we do business with in Canada in the private jet space, and they have flight attendants on their private jets, and they've chosen older women, about 50, 55, that are very good with children, because the brand that they want to portray is we will look after your kids while you're on the flight.
Fabrizio,
so
let me just jump in there for a second. Point taken. Yeah, but let me flip that around for a second. That experience that they have, surely, in an emergency, is actually going to be an asset to them.
Well, I mean, experience. I mean, people always talk about experience, but at the end of the day, performance is what counts. I mean, if you've got a guy playing professional golf and he's 21 years old and he's raking in $15 million a year playing golf, he's obviously got less experience playing golf than a 50-year-old who's got a really high handicap. So performance is what's key. Yes, of course, the 18, 19-year-old girl is not going to probably have the performance flight attendant-wise as someone in their 30s. But, I mean, you don't want old people that are unfit on the aircraft, that when an emergency happens, they can't kick in and do the job.
I can hear our Twitter feed lighting up with the protests already. Let me just throw one other statistic at you. Now, IATA, the International Air Transport Association, in their latest passenger satisfaction survey, the three top things that respondents say that they want from an airline are free Wi-Fi, early e-notifications, and attentive staff. Nothing in there about how they look. Is Aeroflot barking up the wrong tree here because of that?
I think we're losing ourselves here on the look thing, and we're not talking about, you know, the overweight, the fitness, the health. I think that aspect is very, very important. But the other thing is, this is what people say they want, but we need to be giving people what they need. So a lot of people don't realize that the flight attendants are on the aircraft for safety reasons. People don't realize that because every time they've been on an airplane, they've served them nice drinks, smiled, had a little bit of a chat, and no emergencies ever happened. But so a lot of people don't get that. So we have to really understand why they're there. What's the need for a flight attendant? The real need, not what the passenger wants, what they're really there for, and they're there for safety reasons. So performance is key, fitness is key in order to perform.
Pleasure talking to you, Fabrizio Poli in Manchester. Thank you very much for being with us.